of events, some of the pieces of which we had before. Tom Foreman puts them all together.
To hear James Comey tell it, he leaked his private notes of meetings with the president only after the final straw. The president tweeting, "James Comey better hope that there are no tapes of our conversations."
And my judgment was I needed to get that out into the public square. And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter.
But that's not the whole story. The president's tweet came a day after the New York Times had already cited key allegations that match verbatim part of Comey's notes, and 3 days after Comey had been fired.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that.
Complicating it further, Comey says all the way back in January, around the inauguration, he suspected he had a problem when President Trump allegedly told him he expected loyalty, which the president disputes.
And I then said, you'll always have honesty from me. He said honest loyalty, and then I acceded to that as a way to end this awkwardness.
Then, 2.5 weeks later, another meeting, according to Comey, in which the president says he hopes Comey can let go of the investigation of dismissed National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
That's how I understood it. Yes, sir.
Over the next 2 months, Comey says, the president presses him repeatedly to get out word that he, the president, was not under investigation, to remove the cloud of suspicion hampering his new administration. Some of it is so troubling, Comey says, he's taking notes.
I knew that there might come a day when I would need a record of what had happened.
The president denies almost all of it.
I didn't say that.
So he lied about that?
Well, I didn't say that. I mean, I will tell you, I didn't say that.
Monday, May 8th, it comes to a head. The president calls the Russia investigation a hoax, a taxpayer-funded charade. Comey is fired on Tuesday. Thursday, the New York Times publishes the first article alluding to details contained in Comey's now infamous private notes. The president tweets about possible tapes on Friday, yet Trump's lawyer points out Comey said he did not leak his notes until the next Monday, 3.5 months after he said he was first alarmed over the president's behavior. So the president and the former FBI director have now called each other liars, and in this twisted timeline, it's hard to sort out who is telling the truth. But this seems clear. They can't both be. John?
Right. Tom Foreman, thanks so much. Back now with the panel. Carl Bernstein, I want to go first to you. You think it's very important that we focus here on the big picture in general. How important is it in your mind, this focus on the chain of events for James Comey? The fact that the memo he handed to his friend and then the New York Times story came out, but there was a story about loyalty before that. Is that important in your mind?
Yes, it's important, but it also fits into the big picture. And the big picture is what the president did to shut down this investigation, and also the underlying contacts with Russians, ethno-Russians, the contacts of his businesses with Russians, with Azerbaijan, with neighboring countries to Russia that were in the former Soviet Union. That's all this big picture that the investigators, including Mueller, who incidentally has hired the former assistant attorney general in charge of the fraud division to start looking at the finances of the Trump organization and the finances of people involved in the Trump campaign. This is a sprawling inquiry, and part of it, a big part of it, is the firing of Jim Comey because of the questions it does raise about obstruction of justice, and the timeline is important in terms of trying to impeach Comey's testimony if indeed it's impeachable. But let's keep our eye on the big picture here, and the most important aspect of the big picture is that since he took office and even before, the president has tried to impede, obstruct, shut down, demean all investigation of things Russian. That's the big picture here.
Jeffrey Lord, your chance to talk about James Comey and his line of events.
Well, look, with all due respect to my friend Carl, I think he's focusing on the small picture, and if we're going to go in for pictures, I want the big, and biggest picture. I want everything. I want what went on in the Obama administration, the Washington establishment to shut down Donald Trump. I want to know about Trump derangement syndrome and how that has affected the Washington establishment. I want to know about all of this. Let's get it all out. Let's take everything Carl has said and multiply it by 1,000. Let's get it out there. Let's do it. Let's rumble, as it were. That's a good thing.
Jeffrey, what is it? What is it? You want it out there. What is it that you want out there?
Well, let's find out what was going on with the Clinton Foundation and the Russians. Let's find out what was going on with Hillary Clinton and the Russians. Let's find out with President Obama and whether or not he obstructed justice in that Fox clip or was trying to send a message. Let's find out. Let's go to it. Let's get Loretta Lynch up there. Let's do all of this. Let's get Susan Rice. Come on, Carl. Let's go. Let's rumble.
Carl, your response.
My response is that we have an incumbent president of the United States who's under investigation. As part of, we need to find out what happened with the Russians and the campaign, and whether or not there is collusion is part of that question. Doing what happened. Look, if any crimes occurred in the Clinton administration, there is a Justice Department that is in place and has every ability to inquire, prosecute those crimes. And if they occurred,
let's investigate.
I believe, Matt Nussbaum,
I believe there is an assistant attorney general in charge of the criminal division, and thus far I've seen no inclination of that assistant attorney general to prosecute those crimes if they exist.
Hang on, guys. I want to bring Matt Nussbaum into this.
This is a really silly discussion,
and that's why I want to bring. That's why I want to bring. Hang on, Jeffrey. I want to bring Matt Nussbaum into this because Jeffrey, over the course of this show, has questioned whether or not Bob Mueller, can run an efficient special counsel investigation. He's talked a lot about James Comey. He's also brought up Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Loretta Lynch. You cover the White House right now. Are you getting the sense from people close to this administration, or surrogates, like Jeffrey here, that there is an effort to draw focus away from the matter at hand here, a specific focus?
Not to that extent of let's go look at the Clinton Foundation and the Russians and Hillary Clinton and the Russians. Hitting Hillary Clinton and hitting Barack Obama is always going to be fun for Republicans, and it's always going to be a winner with some of their base. But this situation is so much bigger than that, that those normal talking points aren't going to work. Yeah. Hillary Clinton's not running for anything right now. Barack Obama's out of office. So while those talking points are good standbys, they're more focused, the RNC comms operation, the White House comms operation to an extent, is more focused on painting Comey as this disgruntled ex-employee rather than going after Hillary Clinton.
All right, guys. Thank you. You know what, Carl? Carl, so we did run out of time here.
Loretta Lynch, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry.
We'll talk about it another time.
Carl Bernstein, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, everyone.